Welcome back to the Fishing Doctor's Adventures. Today we're filleting our 30-inch Northern Pike that we caught at Cold Lake. I'm going to use the Rapala Electric Filleting knife to show you how this is done. So let's go ahead and get started. I like starting, you can start with the fish either way, but this way is fine. So we'll cut behind the pectoral fin. This pike filleting is a little bit different from the other fish that I've showed you, since they're the extra bone that you cut out is a little bit different. I'm just going to go ahead, cut through these rib bones like this, and then we'll take the meat off the backbone. These are really hard to cut through on these larger pike, like this 30-inch or up, because they start getting very thick and hard. So, but you can take the meat off the fish like this. And then you go down the rest of the fish like this. Just get on top of that fin. There you go. Just down. You see this electric filleting knife makes fast work of that fish. Let's just flip the fish over this way so that we can do this side. We just cut down again the rib bones, through the rib bones along the spine. We'll take those out after we got the fillet off. We're just cutting all the spine bones down, and then you just trim the meat back like that. And there you go, you just trimmed the fish right down, and you cut the pectoral fin off like that. Let's see, we're holding on someplace, and then you can cut the rest of the fish off. This part is sometimes easier if you flip it over, right, so you can see where you're going. Over the fin. You want to go over the fin on both sides, so you don't get any of those fin bones or spine bone, right, in your fillet. Cut back to the tail. Now that you have your two fillets separated from the fish, you want to take the fin bone off right here. You can cut off some of the belly because it doesn't taste that great anyways. Just cut off the belly like that. And you take that fin off right there, and the anus at the same point. So now you see that fin that was on the belly is cut off. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. We'll just cut this belly and fin off, and then cut the anus off right there. Now we're going to take the rib bones off. So you got each fish laid out with the bones facing, away from you, so that you can come by and take these off. You just start at the top, work your way down like this. This electric filleting knife really makes this for much easier work. You just hold the bones, go down like that. And there you go, you take them right off. So much easier, just like that. That little strip of meat with those rib bones gone. Now that you got the ribs taken off, you can start by taking out the we call Y bone. It's the pin bone in other fish, but this guy, his kind of splits, so you actually end up having to take out a little bit more meat. So once again, this is a little different, but you want to start at the top of the bone. You just feel backwards and you see all those little white bones that the knife gets caught on, and it goes all the way back about halfway through the fish. So I just start at the back and I cut towards them, and then you can feel them, and then you split it out, and then you cut down towards the top of the fish, because the bones actually lay right out. So cut down towards the top of the fish. You'll cut along the bone, because you see it goes down and then it curves up like that. You can see all those bones in there that I'm filleting around. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the other side, and I'm just going to actually run around the table because that's easier. Now since that bone runs that way in the flesh, it's better just to come to the other side of the table, and then I just cut down along here to cut that bone out. You see my knife going right below those bones, just like that. And there you go. That's how you cut out that pesky bone in the pike that people think makes them undesirable to eat. It's really easy. It's just that little strip of flesh that comes out with all the bones. You see all those long Y bones. I can actually pull one out here and you'll see that it's a Y. See that Y bone? So it comes up, down to the side, and then it runs along the back of the meat like that. So that's why you take out this little chunk of meat like that, because there's a bone on each side and then it runs a Y. You see it almost looks like a Y right there, the flesh. Now it's time to take the fish off the flesh. So you can either use your regular knife or your electric filleting knife. Let's do one of each. So this is the regular fillet knife. You want a sharp knife, angle down to the skin. Once you're at the skin, you just kind of slide along the skin like this. It's pretty easy with these pike. And don't cut through the skin. That's one mistake a lot of people make with the pike, is because they are kind of a softer meat at first, then it's easier to cut through. So if you look, I just did that all perfectly. So you have the skin left there, but you see I went a little thin right there, so that I could have gone through the skin. So you got to be careful not to go through the skin. And you have a nice fillet just like that. Look at that huge fillet. And this is what's kind of nice. You got a lot of meat off one fish. Here we have the other side of the fish. We're going to use the electric filleting knife for this side. Let's just go ahead, cut down the skin. Now you just kind of go superficially. Keep your knife pressed against the skin, and you're just cutting back along the skin with this electric fillet knife. You see that the other regular fillet knife is almost as faster. Constant pressure, and you'll go right through there. See, just like that. We're going a little thin, so angle up a bit. And we're almost done. There we go. So there you go, a nice fillet. You can see we took that off very nicely with the electric filleting knife. And that's how it's done. So if you follow this technique, you'll get very nice fillets out of the pike that are boneless. One last thing. Guys asked me, can you take out pike cheeks like the walleye? Well, you don't usually do it because I think they taste a little bit too fishy, but you can. You just cut on the jaw, down, around like that. It's just like the walleye. Careful not to cut yourself, flip it up. Now there isn't as much. You'd need a really big jack to have a big cheek like the walleye, but you see it's kind of mushy, not as good of a fish. So you can take it out on the pike, but they're not as desirable as the walleye cheeks. So that's it on how to fillet your pike. Good luck filleting your next pike. Here's a nice mess of perch we caught today with some really nice big ones, some up to 12 inches long, but it seems like they're all over 10. So these are really good jumbo perch that we caught, so let's go ahead and show you how we fillet them up.